Are you happy with the price you had to pay to get Shai to the club in the end?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was a fair price. When you look at the quality of player that Shai is, like he's an absolute elite player of the competition when he's up and going, and yeah, we had to pay a pretty strong price. But I think for a player like Shai's quality, he's finished 5 times in Richmond's best and fairest top 5 in a row. So I think he'll come in. He's a real need for us. And I think he'll be able to really elevate our side and give us something that we haven't got. So I think for the player he is and really where our needs sit, it was justified.
How long has this been in the planning for?
Probably 6 months. Like we've tracked Shai for a long time. Like going back to his junior days in South Fremantle as a player and coming through and admired. But he signed a long-term contract, over 12 months ago. But situation changed with his family, and really that became evident about 6 months ago.
Was there much debate about that price? Were you going to pull back at any point, or once sort of the deal as it was came together, you weren't happy to pay it?
I think we were happy to pay it, and Blair Hartley and Richmond were really good to work with. Understand that he had 4 years to run on his contract. We were really keen to bring him in, so I think we had the picks, and because we had multiples, and then Richmond were able to get a lot more in as the trade period progressed, we were then able to move things around to come to a compromise that everyone was happy with.
Did you feel like you were a chance of getting Liam Baker at any point? Did he shoot on?
Oh, look, we tried, and for a couple of years to get Liam. Would love to have bought him in, but I think his ties to West Coast as a passionate supporter as a kid was just too strong in the end. So there was a little window where it opened with the Hawthorn deal, and we thought we may have had a chance if West Coast couldn't get the deal done. But ultimately, he was pretty keen to get to West Coast, and we move on and head in another direction pretty quickly.
Do you feel like I know it's next year, but Chuck Warner's going to be a big name next year. Do you feel like you're in a good spot to really try and tempt him to come home?
I think like with where our club's at and where our list's at and where the side's going, that we'd be attractive to any player. We've given ourselves plenty of flexibility too. We've got a first round pick still this year. We've got pick 30. We've got a full hand next year plus our third. And with AFL rules opening, we can trade further into the future, into 26 and 27. I feel like we'll have a lot of flexibility to look at a number of different players.
Clubs clamouring for first round picks still this year. Is yours still available, or is there any change?
We'll look at everything, and clubs are still talking now and different picks moving around. That'll happen up until the draft. I'd suspect we'll hold on to it until draft night, and you can trade on draft night. I reckon we'll get to our pick, see who's there, and then make a call if we want to move the pick around or if we're happy to use it. But we're at pick 14, and we look at it and we think there's a really strong 14 players in the draft that we're really happy with the quality there. So we'll just see who comes through and what type, and make a call on the night.
How in the sweet spot is this list now to try and compete for a premiership? Is this smack bang in the middle?
I feel like we're heading that way. Like we've got a lot of guys now over 100 games experience. There was no real list turnover this year for us, so minimal changes, and I feel like the guys that played this year, our most played 22, will all be back next year. Another 12 months more experience to add Shai in, and natural growth from within, so I think we're heading towards being up there and really challenging.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.